Assalamu alaikum. In today's mathematics session, we are going to start exercise 5.1s from chapter number 5 of IGCSE Extended Mathematics that is recommended by AQA examinations. Our topic is fractions and percentages. So in question number 1, it says calculate these fractions of a quantity and give your answers as fractions or mixed numbers. So in A part, let's do it. It's written 1/2 of 7.5. We can replace off with the multiplication sign and we can write 1/2 times 7.5 and we can multiply the numerators. Like here the denominator can be considered as 1. So if we multiply the numerators we get 7.5 and denominators we get 2. So we can simply divide 7.5 by 2, we will get 3.75. But as they have mentioned that we have to give our answer in mixed numbers or fraction, so this number contain a whole part and a fractional part. So let's write down into mixed number. 3 is the whole number, while 0.75 is basically 75%. That can be written as fraction like 3/4. So it is 3 and 3/4. That represents 3.75 in decimals. Let's do the B part. In B part, they want us to multiply 1/5 with 8, means 1/5 of 8. So let's multiply. This is 8 and we can write the denominator 1. So this is 8/5. And if we divide 8 by 5, let's see what do we get. This is 5 times 1 is 5 and then we get remainder 3. So it means this fraction can be written as mixed number, like it can be 1 and 3/5. 3 is the remainder, 5 is the divider, and 1 is the quotient that we get over here. This is the quotient. This is the remainder R, and this is the divider. So this is how we can represent a fraction. This fraction was basically improper fraction. That's why we have converted into mixed number. So I'm leaving the remaining parts for you. You can easily calculate by multiplying. Let's do the next question. In question number 2, again, they want us to multiply, means we have to find 1/2 of 20 in A part. So 1/2 of 20 will be definitely very easy to figure out. Half of 20 is definitely 10. So it's, sorry, I need to write 20 over there. And then 1/2 of 20 is definitely 10. Similarly, we have to find 1/4 of 84. That's very easy to figure out. We just need to divide 84 by 4, and that will be 21. Now I'm moving to the next question. You can easily do the remaining parts. In question number 3, it says a reel holds 60 meters of wire when new. 2/5 of the wire has been used. What length has been used? So from the question, we can solve it by first writing the sentence into mathematical form. So 2/5 of wire has been used. So we can write that length of wire used is equal to 2/5 of the total length. And we know the total length is 60 meters. So we can write 2/5 of 60. That is again 2/5 times 60. And if we multiply, we get 24 meters. Means if we multiply 2 with 60 and divide by 5, we get 24 meters. It means 24 meters of the wire has been used. And in B part, we have to find that what length is left on the reel. So the remaining length will be equal to the total length minus the length that is used. Total length minus the length that has been used. So 60 take away 24 is 36 meters. Now let's proceed to the next question. In question number 4, they want us to calculate the amount of liquid in these containers. So in A part, it's very simple. It says a 40 liters barrel that is 3/8 full. Like it's not completely full. It's just 3/8 full. So let's figure out the capacity of the container that is just 3/8 full. So 3/8 of 40 will be equals to 3/8 times 40. Let's cancel the common factors first. Look, that 40 is actually being multiplied with 3, but it is being divided by 8, like it's on the other side. So you know that 8 is the factor of 40. Like you know that 8 times 1 is 8 and 8 times 5 is 40. And after cancelling the common factors, we can now multiply that that become easy to figure out means 3 times 5 is 15 and 1 times 1 is 1. That is not needed to be written. So it is 15 liters. Similarly, we can easily do the second part, like in B part. Again, we have to find 3/4 of the 240 calories jar. So 3/4 of 240 means 3/4 of 240. We can easily cancel the common factors because 4 is the factor of 240. Like 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 times 6 is 24. Like it's 60, like 4 times 60 is 240. And now we can multiply the numerators, that is 180. So it means 180 calories has been full. Similarly, I'm leaving these two parts for you. You can try these by your own. Now I'm moving towards next part. In question number 5, again, we have to find 5/8 of 48 meters. Very simple. 5/8 of 48. That is definitely 5/8 times 48. And we can cancel the common factors first. Like 8 is the factor of 48 because 8 times 6 is 48. And we can multiply the numerators. That is 5 times 60. 5 times 6, that is 30. And we should write down the units, means 30 meters. I'm leaving the remaining parts for you. You can easily try by your own. In question number 6, they want us to calculate these fractions of the quantity, but we have to write our answers in fractions or mixed numbers. Like maybe sometimes we will not get a whole number, so we don't need to write down the decimals. We have to just convert our answer into fractions or mixed fractions. So in A part, they want us to multiply 1/6 with 10, means, by the way, we can just cancel the common factors because we know that 6 and 10 both can be divided by 2. So if we divide 6 by 2, that is 3, and if we divide 10 by 2, we get 5. So we have divided by the highest common factor. So finally, we will get 5/3. And definitely we can write this fraction into mixed number. We can divide it. We know 3 times 1 is 3, and the remainder will be 2, means it is 1 whole and 2/3 is remainder. Similarly, we can solve the B part. We have to multiply 1/4 of 22. So 1/4 times 22. We can first cancel the common factors. The highest common factor of 22 and 4 will be 2. So if we divide 4 by 2, we get 2. And if we divide 22 by 2, we get 11. So it's 11/2. Similarly, we can convert into mixed number by dividing by 2. So it's 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 is the remainder. So the 5 is the whole number, and 1/2 is the remainder. Similarly, you can do the remaining parts. I'm leaving these parts for your practice. So please try these parts for you, by your own. Now let's proceed to next question. In question number 7, again, we have to multiply the fractions with the whole numbers. So in A part, it's 1/9 of 24 miles and 1/9 times 24. And let's find the highest common factor of 9 and 24, that is 3. So if we divide, first we can multiply 24 with 1, we get 24/9. And now if we divide numerator and denominator by the highest common factor, like 3 is the highest possible number that can divide both numbers. So that should be 8 divided by 3. So we can convert into mixed number by dividing 8 upon 3. 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 is the remainder. So in mixed fraction, we can also write the answer as 2 whole and 2/3. Similarly, you can do the remaining parts. I'm leaving these parts for you for your practice. Let's proceed to next question. In this question, they want us to calculate these fractions of a quantity, give your answers as decimals to an appropriate degree of accuracy. So we can give our answers into decimals now. It's 5/12 of 16, means 5/12 times 16. And we can use the calculator to find the answer. That is 5/12 times 16. So if we calculate it, we get 6.666, and 6 is being repeating, and then we have 7. But we can definitely round off this answer because 6 is being repeated so many times. So we can give our answer to first decimal place, means if we round off, we get 7 over there. We have basically rounded to 10th digit. means first decimal place. Let's do one more part. In B part, it's for 9th times 12 millimeters. By the way, we have to write the unit. It is mandatory. Again, here it is for 9th times 12 millimeter. So if we multiply using calculator, it's 4 divided by 9 times 12. That is 5.333. So as 3 is being repeated, so we can just round to first decimal place. That is 5.3 millimeters. Similarly, you can do the remaining parts. I can also do the C part, which is 3 over 22 times 64 centimeter. And if we calculate it, we get the answer is 8.272727, and it is being repeated. So we can round off to 2 decimal places, like it can be written as 8.27. In question number 9, it is a bit different from the previous questions. Here they want us to work out these percentages in your head. So in A part, they want us to find 25% of 42. 25% is always 1/4 of a number. So 1/4 of 42 will be definitely 1/4 times 42, and we have to just think in our head. So that is about 10.5. Similarly, we have to find 90% of 140. So we have to do this in our head. So first of all, we can find 10% of 140. So 10% is, we can always get the 10% by dividing a number by 10. So 10% of 140 will be 14. So 90% is actually 9 times 10. So if we multiply 10 times 9, we get 90%. So 90% of 140 will be 14 times 9. That is 126. Similarly, we can find 20% of 1200. Like in C part, it's 20% of 1200. So first we can find 10%. So 10% is basically 1200 divided by 10. That will be 120. So if 10% is 120, then 20% is double of 10%. So we can just multiply by 2 to get 20% of 1200. That should be 240. Similarly, we can find 11%. 11% of 900. So for 11%, first we can find 10% and then 1%. So 10% of 900 is definitely 90. And 1%, so for 1%, we divide the number by 100. So if we divide 900 by 100, we get 9. So 10% is 90 and 1% is 9. So in total, 11% of 900 will be 99. Similarly, in E part, we have to find 60% of 500. For 60%, first we can find 50% in our head. So 50% is definitely the half of 500. So half of 500 is 250. And we can also find 10% of 500. So for 10%, we can divide by 10. We will get 50 over there. So in total, 60% is 300. Similarly, we can find 30%. It's very easy. We can first find 10%, and then we can find 10% of 440 with 3 to get 30%. Similarly for this one, and for 55%, let's do this part. In each part, we have to find 55% of 1800 meters. So for 55%, first we can find 50%. So 50% of 1800 meters is 900 meters. And for 5%, first we can find 10%. So then we will get half of 5%. So 10% will be 180. And for 5%, we can further half 180 because 5% is half of 10%. So half of 10% will be 90. So let's add 50% and 5% together to get 55%. So in total, 55% of 1800 will be 990 meters. So let's proceed to next question. In question number 10, they want us to calculate these percentages. So in A part, it's 9% of 1500. By the way, here we are not restricted to do these questions in our head, so we can use calculator. 9% means 9 out of 100. So it is 900 times 1500. So we can definitely use calculator here. By the way, I am just canceling the common factors, means 100 times 15 is 1500, and 100 times 1 is 100. So 9 times 15 is 135. Similarly, I can do B part over here. That is 13% of 700 means 13 out of 100 times 700. So we can use the calculator. That is 13 times 700 divided by 100. That is 91. So I'm leaving the remaining parts for you. You can easily do the remaining parts for your practice. Let's proceed to next part. In question number 11, it says write these percentages as equivalent decimals. So in A part, it's 50% means 50 out of 100. And definitely to write in decimals, we can shift the decimal backward as it is 2 zeros over there and it is being divided by 100. So we can shift the decimal that is not visible, but it is always considered as at the end of the number if it is not visible. So let's shift it 2 digits backward. So it will be 0.50. Let's do the B part. It is 60%. So by following the same rule, we can convert into decimal and we can write as 0.60. Now I am doing the I part, which is 77% means 7 out of 100. And if we shift the point, mean decimal, that is at the end, so we need to shift it 2 digits backward. So we already have 1 digit, but we don't have the second digit behind, say, 7. So we can put 1 0 behind 7 and then we can put a decimal point. So this is 0.07. Similarly, J part, it is 8.5%, and it can be written as 8.5 divided by 100. And now we can shift the decimal backward by 2 digits. So there is no digit behind 8. So we can put 0 behind 8 and then we can put a decimal over there. So the answer will be 0.085. Now I can do the L part, that is the last part, which is 0.01%. We can write as 0.01 divided by 100. And we have to again shift the decimal backward by 2 digits, but we have just 1 0, so we have to put 1 extra 0 behind this 0 to shift the point by 2 digits backward. So the answer will be 0.0001. So let's proceed to next question. In question number 12, they want us to calculate the percentages using the appropriate method. So in A part, they want us to find 15% of 38. Definitely the method will be 15 out of 100 times 38. So we can use the calculator here. That is 5.7. Similarly, you can do the remaining parts by using calculator. I'm leaving these parts for you. Let's proceed to next question. In A part, they want us to find 16% of 24 euros. So for 64%, which is 16 out of 100 times 24, and that would be 3.84 euros. I'm leaving the remaining parts. You can easily do the remaining parts for your practice. In question number 14, they want us to calculate in A part 3/5 of 1/6 of 90 euros. So let's do the A part first. Like it is written 3/5 of 1/6 of 90 euros. So first we can find 1/6 of 90 and then we will find 3/5 of 1/6 of 90. So first of all, we can do 1/6 of 90. So 1/6 of 90 is basically 1/6 times 90. That is 15 euros. Now we can find 3/5 of 15. So 3/5 of 1/6 of 90 is basically 3/5 of 15, because we know that 1/6 of 90 is 15 euros. So 3/5 of 15 is 9 over there. So the answer will be 9 euros. We can easily do the remaining parts. So by the way, I can do the B part here. That is 30% of 1/6 of 54 pounds. So first I can find 1/6 of 54. So I can write 30% of 1/6 of 54 will be definitely 9 over there. It means 9 pounds. So now I can find 30% of 9. So for 30% of 9, I can multiply 30 out of 100 times 9. That will be 2.70 pounds. So I'm leaving the last part for you. Here first you need to find 30% of 48, and then you need to find 25% of 35% of 48. So this was all for today's class. You can ask your questions through comments. Thank you.